board of the Shell Nigerian Pension Fund Administrators, as well as all-on and off-grid energy entity. Of course, he is a special guest of honor for today and the country chair, Shell Companies of Nigeria, and managing director of the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria. Your Excellencies, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please, for his remark, help me welcome Osagie Okunbor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope it doesn't fall down again. The president of the Nigerian Association for Energy Economics, my sister, Professor Yinka Omorogbe, and of course, Professor Elevare, the immediate past chairman. The chairman of today's occasion, Professor Jidere Bala, very ably represented. The executive secretary of the PTDF, also very ably represented. The authority chief executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Authority, very well represented by Dr. Zainab Gobai. Let me now stand on existing protocols. I want to join the president of the NAEE to welcome all of us to this 15th annual international conference of the NAEE, and specifically to today's plenary session. The theme of this 15th annual conference is quite apt, and for those of us who have been close to this subject over the recent past, it's quite germane, so I wouldn't be surprised if indeed you hear the same recurring themes through all the presentations. I think the good thing is that even in our country and Africa, we are beginning to articulate our positions very clearly in this business of energy transition and climate change. Without a doubt, the subject of energy transition, driven largely by the climate and environmental impacts of fossil fuels, is one of the most discussed and widely debated topics across the globe today. This is no surprise, really, given the far-reaching effect of energy in powering societies, economies, and the lives of all of us as human beings. Nigeria and other countries on the African continent, therefore, is faced with multifaceted challenges and opportunities in the current energy transition and evolving global climate change policies. Africa is home to about 17% of the world's population, with over 42% of its population without access to basic electricity, as we heard a short while ago, making the continent one of the poorest, under-industrialized continents in the world. Consequently, available statistics states that Africa currently accounts for just 3% of the cumulative global CO2 emissions today. Remarkably, Africa, in particular Nigeria, is also endowed with significant oil and gas resources, which at this moment is a primary export revenue generator for our economy. These twin challenges, or dilemmas as some would describe it, therefore requires that we need to carefully establish a balance between achieving global net zero goals and closing the energy gap of the African continent. A just transition, as it is now described, is at a fundamental level, one that balances the equally important objectives of economic development and growth, energy security, access, and then environmental sustainability. The African continent cannot afford to trade one in favor of another. We therefore must continue to advocate for a just transition for Africa, which delivers across the equally important but sometimes competing objectives of economic development, energy access, and environmental sustainability. Regardless of our advocacy, however, it is important to note that the transition has begun. While different regions and countries will move at different paces, driven by multiple macroeconomic and societal considerations, Africa, and Nigeria in particular, cannot be left behind. We need to see the opportunities that the energy transition presents and then seek to strategically position ourselves to harness these opportunities. For example, the ability to supply electricity to off-grid locations using simpler energy solutions, whilst utilizing technology in the development of green energy apparatus. For example, solar panels should not be quickly overlooked. This is why the shell companies in Nigeria, in recognition of this opportunity to close the energy gap through multiple solutions, seeded an off-grid impact investing company about 5 years ago. It is referred to as Olon, as described earlier. In its few years of existence, Olon has invested over $21 million in over 40 off-grid energy companies in Nigeria and has driven over 45,000 solar connections to date across underserved communities in our country. The pathway to ensuring sustained growth and development for the African continent, in addition to keeping to our 2050 to 2070 net zero emission commitments, in my view, will be one that employs an and equation rather than either or. One, it will not be a question of gas versus renewables, carbon capture and storage versus biofuels, or battery-powered versus hydrogen vehicles. It will be all of the above, as the energy transition in Africa must feature the co-evolution of established and new components of our energy mix. Like others, therefore, I'm also looking forward to today's lecture, as I have no doubts that the insights will provide actionable solutions towards the advancement of the African continent as it navigates its version of the energy transition and climate change politics and policies. So, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your attention and then wish you a very fruitful deliberation.
Thank you very much.